on this look. It is a Christmas look that I thought I would do a little bit earlier, just so if you don't have some of the products that I use and if you would like to purchase them, you have like a while to do so. It's basically using quite glittery golds and warm browns, and I've done a deeper lip than I'm typically used to, but I like doing that around Christmas, even though in Australia it's summer when it's Christmas, which is so weird. But yeah, it's kind of odd wearing a dark lip in the heat, but anyway, I figured it was fitting enough for Christmas. So I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup tutorial, and if you want to know exactly how to recreate this look, then keep on watching.
So I'm using NYX's eyeshadow base in Skin Tone. I'm using this to apply it all the way from lid to my brow, and then I rub it in with my fingers. This is going to help all the shadows stay in place and not move around. And then I'm going to use the Makeup Geek Creme Brulee eyeshadow on a huge fluffy brush. I'm using this as a transition shade, so you don't have to be super precise with this. As you can see, I fluff it around in my crease, I put it on my lid. It's just a transition shade, so just go for it. Then I'm using the L'Oreal, this is like a pressed glitter, it's a gold one, and I'm out of frame, but I'll tell you what I'm doing anyway. I'm just applying it all over the lid. And then I use the Makeup Geek eyeshadow in Cocoa Bear, and I take that on a crease blending brush. I got it from e.l.f. And I use this firstly applying it, just patting it on the outer half of my lid, and then I blend it into the crease with whatever's left, but I'm always using a light hand in this step. Then I'm going to take that big fluffy brush again with no additional product, and I'm just blending around the edges so it's much more seamless, buffed out, airbrush, flawless, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to show you the same thing on this eye so you get the technique and how to do it. So taking that brush with the eyeshadow and patting it first on the outer half of the lid, slowly blending into the crease, shaping it out using an extremely light hand. That is very important. Then I'm going to reapply some of the lid shade because I kind of blended some of it out. So just reapplying it, doing some touch-ups. Now you can use any light eyeshadow that's preferably not shimmer because you've got that on the lid, so you don't want to look like a disco ball on your eye. It's just highlight underneath brow with a small brush. And then I'm going to use the L'Oreal gel liner. This is the black one, and I'm just applying my eyeliner. I do this by doing a line on the outer half of the lid, then the inner corner. I match it up, kind of like drawing, and then I always do a wing. I just feel it makes my eyes look much more cat-eyed and almond shaped. Now I'm going to use the L'Oreal True Match foundation. The shade is W4. I'm taking that on a kabuki brush. I have sped this up because this is the longest process for me in the whole face makeup section, but I've chosen a foundation that I used to love instead of a BB cream, which I've been using lately because, you know, it's Christmas and you want to look full coverage and flawless and camera ready and look all glamorous in your pictures. And I always take a little bit more and I double it up as concealer on my most affected areas because I don't want to put on foundation, concealer, powder, all those types of things, even though I do, but technically not all over my face. So I'm using the e.l.f. Under Eye Concealer and Highlighter Duo. The shade is Fair, and I apply it underneath my eyes. And then I rub it in with my fingers in an upside down triangle shape. This is just going to help kind of conceal any bags or dark circles you may have underneath your eyes. Now I'm using the Maybelline Dream Matte Powder in the shade Medium on that same kabuki brush. I'm using this to set my foundation so that if I sweat or anything, nothing's going to slide off, and it's going to keep me kind of matte instead of being a oily ball. Then I'm going to use the Palladio brow pencil in the shade Brown. I first brush out any concealer or powder that may be in them, and then I fill them in, and then after I fill them in, I go back and use that spoolie. It's on the same product, and I just blend everything out so the product's evenly distributed and it looks much more natural this way, I find. Then I'm going to use that creme brulee eyeshadow again on a small little pencil brush, and then once again I'm using this as a blending kind of transition color on my lower lash line. And then I use Cocoa Bear on a much more stiffer angle brush, and I'm using this to tight line my under eye area. So put it as close as you can to your lower lashes. This will just make something more dramatic. And then I go back in with that pencil brush and just buff it out just like we did with the top. You've also got to blend underneath the eyes. Then I'm going to use a W7 bronzer. I'm taking that on a huge brush. This is something that I've been doing, a technique I've been doing before. I used to use a really small brush and it took a long time and it didn't look as good as I find this one this technique does, because this takes half the amount of time and it looks better. So I'm just warming up my temples, underneath my cheekbones, running out of breath. Then I'm going to use the Makeup Designery blush in the color Glow. This is supposedly the dupe to the NARS Orgasm, which is so famous. I found this on Makeup Geek, and I'm applying my blush with that with an angled blush brush. I just apply it on the apples of my cheeks, feathering it back into my temples. Then I'm going to use the Revlon Colourstay Mineral Finishing Powder in the shade 010. I'm taking this on a fan brush, which is another new trick that I have. It looks so much more airbrushed and once again takes half the amount of time. So I'm using this to highlight my cheekbones, my chin, my nose, and by my forehead. You know how that one works. Then I'm going to use the NYX lip pencil. I think this is called Blackberry or Black Currant. And I'm using this to firstly line my lips, and then I fill them in just a little bit, but you don't have to fill them in as much because you're going to use a lip stain on top of this, and that will give you most of the color anyway. And the lip stain that I'm going to be using is an Oriflame lip stain in the color Raspberry, or Raspberry, however you want to pronounce it. It's a German brand that I got in India, and I'm just putting this all over my lips. This will give it a nice color, but because it's a stain, it's a bit drying. So I'm going to use a gloss on top of it, and the gloss that I'm going to be using is the NYX Sugar Pie Lip Gloss, and this makes my lips more moisturized and kind of gives it the perfect like cranberry Christmassy color. Now I'm just applying some lashes. These are Red Cherry Lashes number 43. I have recently done a how to apply false lashes video, which I will link below if you are curious on how to do that. Then I'm going to use the Maybelline Falsies Mascara, and I'm going to apply a coat of this to my bottom lashes. I do think this is necessary because otherwise the look will kind of look incomplete in my opinion. And then I put some of that and bind my natural lashes and my fake lashes together so it looks a bit more natural. But that's the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!